Dear delegates, I think it's time to start. We are starting the figure skating section. Let me greet all the delegates who are present here. Let's try to be organized to follow the guidelines that were discussed, and hopefully we'll reach good results. That was opening of the meeting by the Vice President. This is done. Next, election of a secretary to record the minutes of the meeting of the branch. And as the secretary, we propose Louis Long, who is next to me. Are there any objections? No. Fine. We are fast. Verifications of the qualifications of figure skating representatives and of their right to vote. Here I need some help, because we need to see how many members are here. Freddie is not here, so one and valid, I think it should be. Yes. So every member who has a vote must press 1 and valid. Supposed to be 68 total. We'll see. Mm-hmm. One and valid. Everybody? The vote is closed. What? We'll see the result. Maybe we'll have to do it again. Present 62. Not present 6. Let's see the list of who is not present. India. No. Indonesia. No. Malaysia. No. Monaco figure. Indonesia is here. Why silent? Somebody. Where's Malaysia? What? Oh, it's again. Yesterday we had the same thing. Thank you, Danny. We had the same thing yesterday. There were 9 who were not present and only 5 names. I don't know how it comes like this. Because if there are 6, it should be 6 countries. But let's finish. Malaysia is here. Next door, okay. Monaco figure. No door, not next door, not this door. Republic of Korea, here. Okay, once again, please. 1 and valid. Open the vote, please. And try everybody to push, and we'll see. We'll see what we get now. Okay? Please close the vote and show us the result. 63, not present 5. Okay, the list. And now it's 5. But some absolutely different. Bulgaria is here? Yes. Did you press the button? Yes. Okay. Something doesn't work, sorry. Hungary. Hungary? Yes, Hungary is here, big delegation. Okay. 3rd attempt. But please be careful, 1 and valid, because we must understand what is happening. Okay, the vote is closed. No, stop. Somebody is still learning. Okay. Okay, close the vote, please, and show the result. I have to do the same. And show the list, please. No. Sorry. Who is in charge of this system? Something is wrong, because every time we get new countries. Can somebody check what is happening with this system? We'll do the roll call some minutes later. We'll continue at the moment. But I would ask somebody who is in charge to check what is happening, because it's not that somebody pushes wrong buttons. Well, election of 2 scrutineers of the meeting, and the proposal is Sally Rehorek and Tarja Ristanen. Any objections? No, thank you. Election of a drafting committee, and drafting committee is for each discipline: single and pair skating, Fabio Binchetti, Susan Lynch, Yukika Akabe, Patricia Meyer. Ice dance, Halina Gordon-Poltarak, Sean Redstadt, Hilary Selby, Patricia Meyer. And synchronized skating, Christopher Buchanan, Kathy Delton, Louis Long, and Frederick Lauren. Any objections? No. Thank you. These people are all elected. A report of the Vice. Next item is a report by the Vice President, and then after that we'll do a roll call again. Okay, so how do I act? Where do I put it? Should I? Yeah, it's inside. It should be inside. It's them for them at the back. There, somebody's coming. But I don't see it. Okay. Okay, I'll see it. Okay, let's try from here. Thank you. Well, I feel myself a little bit like a speed skater, because this report was planned to be done tomorrow, and suddenly I was informed that it must be done today. So I had to do everything very quick, and if I missed something, I apologize. I will try to talk of the main activities in the figure skating branch. It's not, maybe I'll look here. First of all, every year we have to do appointments for the ISU events, and I've just looked today how many positions we have to fill during these appointments. There are around 400 positions that must be filled, and it goes together with availability of officials. It goes together with their qualification, with their personal qualities, with the rules that inside the technical panel all people must be from different countries, and so on. So it's actually a huge work. As an example, the list for the next season is basically ready, and I will give it to the President for his confirmation at the end of the Congress. The conductance of these competitions, I think during the 2 seasons we are talking about, they were all ISU events conducted on a quite good level. I would especially mention Olympic Winter Games that had some organizational problem at the beginning, but finally were quite a big success. I should mention definitely the work of the Development Commission. There was the report of the chair, and it's a new structure with new people, with different rules of procedure, and I must say that these people are, first of all, very innovative, have their own initiatives. They are very enthusiastic. They cooperate well with the committees, with the council, and this work will definitely continue. It's much more transparent than was the work of the previous commission, so this is an important part in our work. I would mention here good cooperation between the technical committees and the council, especially the figure skating members of the council who are well informed of what the committees are doing. Evaluation of judging is a very important part of our work. The OSC is for every ISU event. For championships, OSC is on site. For other competitions, it works from home. And definitely it's necessary for the quality of judging. The technical committees each year evaluate hundreds, I had no time to count, but it's hundreds of referee and technical controller reports, and through these reports we evaluate the organization of the competition, the quality of officials' work, the quality of referees and controllers' work, all is in. And now we are in a different situation. Last Congress abolished anonymity of judging. Now we see everything, and we see problems that appeared. I would especially mention the problem of national bias that is taken care of and should be taken care even more in future. We should have rules how to deal with it. This was the first year we really have seen how serious is this problem. Through the whole period, actually, the technical committees were preparing proposals for this Congress, and in the agenda you see the result of their work. And each committee has many interesting proposals for the development of figure skating. One of the biggest proposals for this Congress is our movement to ±5 GUE system. For this, all 3 committees had to develop new scales of value, new guidelines for plus GUE, for minus GUE. There were test events conducted in Tallinn during the Challenge Series, in Nagoya during Grand Prix final, and the competitions also in synchronized skating during Mozart Cup in Austria. And the results were, I think, quite successful. They were similar to regular results, but we could see what we really can gain if we can evaluate more precisely the quality of execution. Judges who served at test event were unanimous. After ±5, they don't want to go back to ±3. I would also mention various camps done either as ISU projects, and one of the ISU projects is pair camps. We have 2 camps in Berlin and Sochi. They together form a system, and as the result of this system, we now have definitely more pairs than before, and the proposal that was already mentioned yesterday to increase the number of pairs in free skating at Worlds is the result of this work, because we've seen at the last year's World Championship that we have definitely more than 16 good pairs. Then there are other camps conducted with the help of Development Commission, and many of them are quite successful. I will mention also seminars for officials done on a regular basis, and especially Frankfurt seminar, which is a huge project with many people participating, and it's a very good school for judges, for technical specialists, for technical controllers, and I think we should continue with this format. Now we are moving to online learning methods. The ISU soon hopefully will purchase a learning program, a platform, and with the help of this platform, we'll be able to conduct some of the seminars online and save the time and money. Separately, I will mention synchronized skating. We are trying, I don't know the result, but we are trying to have synchronized skating in the program of the next Olympic Games. We prepared all new materials that were necessary. All materials in time were sent to the IOC, and now we are waiting for the result. I think the result might be, first result might be already at the end of June. That's all I think that I wanted to mention. If I've forgotten something again, sorry. Thank you. Let's return to our machines. Can you open the vote? Vote closed? No, we don't need. We need vote open. Yes. Please again and carefully, one and valid. Mr. Cogan, you want to say something? Okay. One and valid. Everybody? It's not working. Jaron. Okay? Okay, vote closed. 65-3. The sum is correct, 68. Now show the list. Let's pray. Oh, India, Malaysia, and Monaco figure. Now this works. Yes. I don't know to whom we should applaud, but it works. And now we move to proposals. First, approval of motions that are designated as drafting matters. I looked through, I didn't see any proposals that were designated as drafting matters. In the general part there was one, here I didn't see even one. Item 9, motions concerning amendments in the special regulations, single and pair skating and ice dance, as well as synchronized skating. And it starts with proposal 189.
Good afternoon, Mr. Vice President, friends. Babka Kitinu Novakovic, Bosnia and Herzegovina. We have proposed to amend slightly to change Rule 336. We think that under A, announcer stays as it was, and then it was under B, up to 2 timekeepers, but we proposed minimum 1 timekeeper, which is for single pairs and 2 for ice dance. Sometimes it's not the case even minimum, especially for small categories. And in small categories, sometimes you are on double duty, and it helps to have 1 timekeeper. And then under C, minimum 1 ice calc computer operator, which also sometimes is a problem. And then they have the data doing also ice calc operator. And then at such level of competitions, we don't have Swiss timing, we have some lower level system, and could be block the screen, and then if person is working as ice calc operator same time, and also as data, then is a problem. So this is our suggestion.
Helena, please.
Ubavka, I'm happy to say that we support your proposal, and particularly for ice dance, it's very important that it is a set requirement for the organizers, that there are 2 timekeepers helping to the referee to check all the time necessary to keep.
Thank you.
Okay. I think we can have a vote because I think it's we just written what must be.
Yeah.
Who is in favor? Against? Abstained? 1 against? Accepted.
Thank you.
Next is proposal 190 coming from all 3 committees, which says that all programs must be skated to music. Well, it's for everybody it's self-understandable, but it was not written in the book. And when we've seen that it's not in the book, we decided that it's necessary to add it. Fabio, do we need to speak?
No, I think it is self-explanatory. Only another thing is that it is clear now with this sentence that you cannot skate if there is no music. So in case the music stops, the skater has to stop. So the main reason was, as Alexander said, that there was nowhere that you have to skate with the music. So we had decided to put somewhere, and also that when there is no music, for some reason, the skater has to stop to skate.
Wait a minute. Hold on.
Sorry? Bob Horn. Yeah? Bob first. Lisa, you're next. Yeah.
Hello? Bob Horan from the United States. I would just like to know if spoken words with a cadence would be considered music.
Well, if it is a question to me, I am not such a big specialist, but Maurizio, in my presence, opened some clever book, and according to this clever book, the words can be music.
Thank you.
Please.
Lisa Røsto Jensen, Norway. Since we have a proposal on the same rule, shouldn't we debate the both of the rules first and then make a decision?
But this is looking at your proposal. Your proposal is all about what reproduction system we use. It's the next proposal. And this is just a statement that the program must be skated to music.
Okay.
I don't think we should mix them. Okay, let's vote on 190.
Alexander,
One more? Yeah?
my question is, sometimes there is some silence. Is it stop of the music, or is it part of the music? When the music starts immediately after, like 1 to 2 seconds silence, is considered part of the music or not?
I can only go advise to use common sense, because if we start measuring 1 second possible, 2 seconds non-possible, I don't think that if there is a pause of 1 to 2 seconds, it's a problem.
Okay.
Yes, but writing everything becomes too complicated.
Alexander?
Yeah.
Alexander? So I think that if there is a problem with the music and that there is a pause with the music, that the skater stops to skate and comes to the referee. But if it is within the construction of the music, then he continues to skate. Just the skaters must be informed that if the music stops by any reason, they have to stop as well.
Interesting. Nobody noticed that this sentence was not in the rules at all. And now when it's put into the rules, so many questions come.
Paolo Pizzocari from Italy. I just want to suggest to give some advice what music can be defined, because in the future as component moderator I had many questions if words are allowed as music, and if we have 2 minutes of wording, what can we do? So yeah, I think it's important to have a kind of suggestion in this direction. Thank you.
I can accept your suggestion as a possible direction of work, but I'm not sure we can now accept something, because this is actually quite a big question. So I propose just to vote to this sentence. It definitely doesn't change what we are doing. And what, Paolo, you suggest maybe should be studied, because there are really, if it is 5-10 seconds of words, and if it is the whole program of words.
It is not related to these things to vote, but it's just a suggestion for the future, because we may have something like that in the future.
I agree, and I would like the committees to think on the subject for the future. Now finally we'll move to vote. Who is in favor? Who is against? Abstained? Okay. Now next is proposal of Norway, and there is an amendment. So let's see. But I have mine. Yes, Elisa, please.
Okay, Lise Røstå Jensen, Norway. I would like to say some words before we vote on this one. The world is in a process of digitalization, and we need to adapt to these changes. CDs and CD players are harder and harder to find. Computers are produced without integrated CD players. Before the next Congress, we recommend the ISU to explore more in detail how the music can be uploaded in ORS or similar platform in advance of the event. The ISU needs to clarify what legal issues that might apply for these changes. Before this platform we request is ready, we have a suggestion of an improvement of the current rule. Therefore, we would like to make an amendment to our proposal, so the proposal on the screen replaces our proposal in the agenda. So we want to take out the CD and the CD players and have USB stick instead.
And what happens if in competition a skater comes with a CD? In many small competitions, it can easily happen.
From now on, we would ask that the USB stick is the only accepted format, and you give one for the organizer, and you have one yourself as a backup. Because CD players are almost impossible to find. They're not produced anymore.
Maybe can we have a transitional period in which both can be used? Because now it's to go immediately to this USB maybe can produce some problems for young skaters in small competition.
Every skater in the world today, they have their music on their phone. They have it digitalized already. Everyone has that. So we don't think it's a big issue to make this change. A USB stick is not more complicated than have a CD.
And if USB stick is used, it means that one program per USB stick. Because if you have two short and free on one stick, that could be a mess. So skater must provide two USB sticks separately for short and free, correct?
If you see the proposal, it's B. Each program, short program, free skating, it says pattern dance here. When music is provided by the couple, short dance, free dance, must be recorded on one track. Then we took out separate disc. So one program on one track. So you could have two tracks on a USB stick with both programs. If it's a solution to have two USB sticks, it's okay.
I think it will be easier for the organizers.
Okay, it's acceptable.
And just the question if for the transitional period, maybe we can use both CDs and USB stick, and for, let's say, for next 2 years, and then immediately go to USB sticks only. That's just the question for the other maybe small countries who do not have yet all the equipment for USB only.
USB stick is used with a normal computer, and most organizers, they play the music from computers now. They don't play it from CDs because they put it into a computer before the competition. So we will advise not to have both in this period.
Next, please.
Björt Erlendsdóttir from Iceland figure. We would like to declare support for this proposal. For the last 2 years, we have conducted all competitions in Iceland, both national and international, in this way, where we ask for the music before the competition starts. Skaters at the national levels are asked to turn in their music at the beginning of each season, and at least 2 weeks prior to the first event of the season, and they only send new music if they are changing programs or moving into a new competition category. At international events, they are asked to turn in their music through a software, which is a bridge from the center to the organizer, and no data is saved in the software. So there is the music isn't saved anywhere. If skaters turn in the music on a CD, they are informed that the music will be transferred to a digital format for easier use at the competition. And this has made all organization a lot easier and more productive, because we are scarce in manpower and we cannot have time to take care of all the CDs when the competition is starting. This gives us a chance to make sure that all music works in the playback before the competition starts. At the accreditation, we ask the skaters to confirm the music that we have, that it is the correct music, and that it will be deleted at the end of the competition. Organizers have on hand 2 different playbacks devices to make sure that if anything happens, we have a plan B. For example, at the rig in January, only one skater turned in a CD, and against all odds, that was the only music that failed. So I think that is a good example that it is working very well. So that is why we want to declare.
Thank you.
Alexander?
Yeah.
Can I?
There's the delegate.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Conor McIver, New Zealand.
Louder, please.
Sorry. As the rule stands at the moment, the last sentence of point 2 is that the facilities to be provided by the organizer must be set forth in the announcement of the competition. So the facility already exists for the organizer to specify which format they prefer. So I can't see any need to specify one for the entire globe when the organizer can already specify each format they will accept.
But if I understand you correctly, you say that the organizer of each event specifies what is used. Then skaters have absolutely different conditions through the whole world, and it will not be easy for them to adjust.
But it's specified in the announcement of the competition.
There are too many announcements. Okay. Anybody else? Yes, please.
Hi, Nikki Hirai for Japan, and on behalf of the organizers on the Asian corner of the globe, we would like to say that we would have no choice but to oppose this unless we can ensure a transition period, as you have kindly suggested, and also that flexibility is in place. Because, true, everybody has an USB, but it's a different issue when we do the organizing of the competition, where more and more of the skaters at this moment are still using CDs as well. So please give considerations as to the reality of what goes on in the organizing of the event. Thank you.
Lisa, you already talked twice. You already talked twice.
Maurizio Margaglio, Ice Dance Technical Committee. I would like to support what Japan just said and what my chair said, because we have different situations in different countries and skaters are traveling. The idea even to put in the cloud the music is very nice, but sometimes the people is changing in the last minute. They should be able to bring the last updated music and use in different formats. And just as an idea, if we put USB stick, I can tell you the next Congress, even this format will not be good because it's already dismissed. And people is starting to use different USB. So whatever we write there, in 2-4 years, we're changing the technology. We should have still the possibility to use some old technology like CD, for instance, as a backup, or USB stick.
David, please.
David Wraith, U.S. Figure. We agree in principle with this concept of some type of digital music relay system here, but I think, as our friends from Japan and others have said, and as Norway has said here, is to have a exploratory group look at this. I think there should be a time period of a transition, and therefore we would propose that this proposal is defeated at this time, with the understanding or a resolution that it will be looked into for the next Congress, and we look at all the legal ramifications. With a flash drive, you could have a virus or things like that. All those things need to be looked into, and we would suggest that a working group be put together to review this situation.
Thank you. The last one.
Might we then suggest that there would be like a transition period, that there would be allowed both audio files and CDs, because, for example, in our case, we do not have any CD players in any ice rinks in the country, so we always have to transfer the CD into an audio file. So we always accept the CDs, but we always have to transfer it by ourselves into an audio digital file.
So Now, who? One there, we'll never finish. First, then, ladies first.
I'm Cecilia Nicolic from Argentina, and coming from a developing country and small in competitions, for the last 2 years, we've been working with USB sticks, and the times that we go abroad and we bring CDs, we've had more problems then than when we use USB sticks.
Matsumura from Development Commission. I mentioned this 2 years ago, the same thing. CD, if you put CD, music in CD, this is the CD format, we call it. But USB is a bucket. It's no matter what kind of format music you put in. For instance, some of the computer cannot play Microsoft format music. So something could happen. We need to have professional in if we limit the music by the USB stick. That's for sure.
So we heard the opinions. We have the original proposal. We have the amendment. Okay. Chris wants. We'll be here forever. Okay. Ricardo, please.
No, it's going to be quick. Thank you. Ricardo Lavarrieta, Mexico figure. I think that you have listened to what the big countries have to say about this particular thing. But from developing countries, we have been using also this past 2 years the USB sticks. But I think the most important right now is to say what type of format you need, because as Japan was saying, some formats you can't play in all the systems. We have had a competition this past about 3 weeks ago, and we had so many problems with the USB sticks. So just bear in mind that this also poses unknown problems, just to keep in mind. And the last thing is to remember that by transferring the music to someone else, probably you're also transferring the responsibility of the music because it's not in your hands anymore. Thank you.
No. Okay, Rarat.
Zakarian, Armenia figure skating. Just to cut it short, unless the competition is not in Africa where the internet is not that strong, it works very easy. You send digitally the music to our committee, they receive, they put on the timeline, and they play on the computer. You don't need to carry anything. That's all.
Artem Knyazev, Uzbekistan. So, there is no problem with different formats. 2 years ago, I told that. It is no problem. So, Association of Winter Sports of Uzbekistan strongly support this proposal.
Okay. So, I think it's time to take a decision. And the options are actually either we accept the proposal of Norway with amendment, or we delay this discussion to the next Congress and maybe prepare some more general description, because I agree with what Maurizio has said, that by the next Congress, USB stick will be old-fashioned. Maybe we need something not so restrictive, that just only this. Okay. No, but you are the last. Oh.
Last one, I promise.
Yes. Yeah. No, they will change amendment first, I vote. Yes. Yes, Albert.
It will be last time. At this Alpurukar, at this commission. As we are going to see, is also proposal 193 from Bosnia and Herzegovina for the content sheet. That as we are in the Atlas Commission, we are working on the cloud project that we can download and upload to the ISU website, our content sheet and also the music. And the answer for the question, the format, it's already right there, the MP3 format. This is the format that we are using.
Okay. First, I suppose we must vote for the proposal amendment to proposal of Norway. It's not the proposal, but whether we are discussing the original proposal of Norway or proposal with amendment. And then we'll have another vote on the whole proposal. Who is in favor of amendment to the Norway proposal? It doesn't mean that we accept the whole proposal. We're just saying that we are discussing proposal of Norway as amended. Who is in favor? Okay, who is against? Yes, this amendment is accepted. Now we have proposal of Norway with amendment, whether we accept it or not. And we need 2/3 majority. I propose, listening to what was said, I propose electronic vote. Well, please open the vote.
There's a question.
Yeah. We are now taking Norway proposal with amendment. So this amended proposal. What? Yes. According to this proposal, it's only USB stick.
Mr. Chairman, if I may, Australia figure, down the back, we can't even see what's on that screen. Can they blow it up bigger so that we can actually read what the amendment is, please?
Can somebody show bigger? Yes. Amended proposal Norway. Can we have on the screen?
I have a question, clarification. Can I?
Yep.
We're talking about now only about USB stick, or are we talking about possibility of wire transfer? Because about if it's only about USB stick, probably I will be against about that. But if it's a wire transfer, I will be for that. Because USB stick is already old also.
Sorry, we are voting for the text. The text is about USB stick. It has not about other means. But we must, people want to see exactly the amendment. Now it's there, but it's very small. No. Mark, is it visible? Yes. Okay. Have a look. That's the amended text that will be now put on vote. The vote will be electronic. Are we ready? Okay. Please open the vote. If you are in favor, 1 and valid. If you are against, 2 and valid. If you are abstained, 3 and valid. Can we close the vote? Yes, the vote is closed. Can you show us 43, 18, and 4, and the rest did not vote? Or maybe there are, no, 61, 65, okay. So how many do we need? It's rejected. The proposal is rejected. It has the majority, but no 2/3 majority.
No.
Why?
It's no 43. That's the majority.
It's no 43. Now I understand. They first showed no. Okay. No 43. And yes is 18. And 4 abstained. Luis, do you have it? Yeah. Luis, do you have it?
Yes.
43. Yes. You.
The majority is 44.
Yes, but it's no 43.
Correct. So that would be no.
No, it's any case no. The proposal is rejected.
Sasha.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
David Wraith with U.S. Figure. As I said earlier, even though we voted this down, we would like to look into this, like Ari has said, about a digital format. We should be looking to the future, and I would propose that some type of working group be put together to come back at the next Congress and work with the ISU and their ORS system to allow some type of digital transfer.
Do we need a working group, or do we give this task to the committee? Athletes. Okay. Athletes are young people. They are ready to take this task. So Athletes Commission will take care. Great. Okay. 192, the proposal of 3 technical committees.
Okay, this proposal is just referring that we would like to provide the referee have the video of the competition, and we have not specified the format. So, so it's just to include that in the rule book that the referee should have the video recording of the competition.
If there are nobody speaking, who is in favor? Against? Abstained? Accepted. Proposal 193 from Bosnia about program content sheet.
Yes, we are suggesting wording shall. Each skater, pair, couple shall, like it's now, present program content sheet. Shall to change must. Make clear that especially for international competitions, that there are so many entries in small categories, and it is a problem. In small categories, the ladies, they have choreo, and then they do like one spiral transitions, we call it, then it's deleted, then we don't know, then also in boys if this is step sequence or they are just transition doing, and we think that it's better to change wording shall to must, that to give them good message that has to be done.
Susan Lynch, Single Pair Technical Committee.
Just to draw your attention, it should be Rule 349, not 350. The committee does agree with the concept, but we would like to suggest that this also goes to maybe the Athlete Commissioner who are looking at putting this information into the cloud.
I have one question to Ubavka. In principle, I fully support the proposal, but my question is what happens if there's no sheet?
Nothing, like before when was...
Nothing, then must, then shall works pretty well. And shall we have already in the regulations. Must means strictly as a consequence the skater does not skate. And that's a question. If we are ready to accept it in this strict form, I have no problem, but the Congress must understand that the word must actually means no sheet, no skating.
Just one version. Word must was also from Dublin for referees to must receive a video from the competition, and was not possible at the international competition, and no consequences. It was just in the report, and you remember that. So therefore we are not...
No, that's not an explanation. Sorry.
Okay, then, sorry.
Yes, John.
John Coughlin, Athletes Commission. I've been to a couple of events where I had sent my sheets to our federation, and our federation had forwarded the sheets to the organizer, and by some miracle I got there after traveling for 15 hours and there were no sheets. So I think it's a very stern punishment to have no sheets, no competition, but I think a skater just should not be allowed to be credentialed as arrived at the event until they fill them out. So you don't get on your practice ice until you filled out your content sheet. I think that's probably the compromise that we need. Thank you.
Okay, so
well, again, John, that theoretically works very well, but sometimes there are competitions with no practice. Skaters arrive at the last minute, and this situation appears just at the very last moment.
But if they haven't practiced, I mean, you want the content sheets ahead of time.
No, there's no practice.
No, I
Skater
understand.
arrives and skates.
But then you're kind of cold calling it anyway, aren't you?
Well, we'll call it. Just a question. I am in favor, because in my practice, I several times went to the dressing room and said, skaters, if in 5 minutes there will be no sheet, you will not skate.
And we will fill them out real quick.
In 5 minutes, everything was there. So, do we risk and put it must? Okay, let's put it on vote. Yes, Patrick.
Patrick Meyer, Single and Pair Technical Committee. In my opinion, must is not possible. If we put must, we need to have a controlling system, somebody who is really in charge that he controls that there is the sheet there. We will otherwise we will never be sure that this is really the mistake of the skater. It can be lost. It can be lost anywhere. So this consequence, in my opinion, is impossible. Or we really say this and this person is of charge of going to the skater and make sure that the file is there.
Okay, so that means that we follow athlete's wish and then we withdraw, or we stay as it was. That means that we withdraw. Or if I don't understand, John, this is, yeah?
The proposal is withdrawn,
yeah.
But as the chair, I would recommend the organizers of the competition and the referees and the judges to be more strict with this, because sometimes we are not demanding enough and the skaters just are lazy to fill the sheets. Proposal 194 from Netherlands to split the panel of judges. Please, Chairman.
Jeroen Prins, Netherlands. The job of a figure skating judge is very hard. Apart from deciding between 7 and from next season 11 grades of execution for each of the 12 elements in the program, the judge at the same time has to sort out a minimum of 20 program components criteria. Judges will require even more precision if we move to the GOA scale of +5 and -5, with at the same time also revised criteria for that. This is more than we can realistically ask from an individual judge. Our perspective on judging is that we need to put more emphasis in assessing components correctly. Far too often, we see an almost perfect correlation, namely a linear one, between technical element score and component score. For programs that would require a far greater distinction between individual components per skater and a greater spread in components between the best and the lowest ranked skater. Our continuous education on the components has at this moment simply proven to be not enough. Skaters and coaches are deserving better than what we are delivering now. Like is done in other judge sports, with our proposal we are proposing to split the panel of judges into GOE and component judges for all ISU events. That means Junior Grand Prix upwards. So each panel can focus on their own part of judging the performances. Some practical, frequently asked questions that already came to me. No judge will be without work for several days after arriving at a competition. Usually in a Junior Grand Prix this can happen, as there will be no such thing as not being drawn. We will use all judges both for short program, or short dance, and for free skating. There would be a free draw both for the short program and for the free skate to determine if you would be judging GOEs or components. For championships, we would draw 14 judges per panel to arrive at 7 + 7. The budget increase is attached. I think it's not too much. We increase by 1 judge, and I think it's justifiable. There would be 1 referee in charge of the initial judges meeting, the round table discussion, and of course the whole event. Not 2 referees. Some people have thought it would be 2 referees. Lastly, will 14 people fit in an ice rink? Well, remember 2003, or this kind of timeline. I was judging Europeans in 2003. We had 14 judges plus a referee and an assistant referee. So I think logistically we can accommodate. This was my introduction. I opened the floor for discussion, and I understood that the Singles and Pair Committee wishes to make some amendments.
Before they step in, I have a couple of questions to you.
Sure.
First, when is this system in your proposal to be implemented?
As there's no timeline attached to the proposal, it would be with immediate effect. However, we see that there would be practical issues. I understood from Fabio that you would propose a timeline on this, so I'm waiting for the amendment to be presented.
And the second question, in budget impact, you say the proposal will add 1 judge for each panel to each ISU championship.
Correct.
But it's not only ISU championship, it's ISU events, then senior and junior Grand Prix. We have 5 judges from each side, that is 10, and we have usually not more than 9, and in dance, in many cases, we do not have 9. So we'll have to invite some additional judges, and in this case, I am not sure that figure 15,000 is enough.
I think we are increasing members, we are increasing officials by each member, and we are increasing the number of skaters to the Junior Grand Prix. I think it will be, maybe in some cases you would need to invite one, maybe for ice dance. I think, as I see in many Junior Grand Prix, we have enough. But this is, of course, we cannot predict the future, so we have to see. I cannot give a full guarantee because I cannot predict the future.
Thank you.
Next question?
No, I had to.
Thank you.
Okay. So, yes, I have to reply because, as Jerome said, we basically agree what Jerome was proposing, so about the possibility of the splitting of the panel. So the idea is good and it is, in a way, we are supporting. But what we cannot support on the proposal is, first of all, the immediate implementation, because next year we already have +5 and -5, that is a big change, and to have in all ISU events this new splitting of the panel, it is a little bit problematic technically and also, I think, for the judges. So what we are proposing is that in the season 19-20, that it is not this season but the next one, for the Junior Grand Prix event, we can have this proposal, and only for the Junior Grand Prix events, also because to go immediately to the ISU Championship even next year, maybe it is a little bit dangerous. We would like to have really some competition in which we can see better how it works. Anyway, we will have the time in 19, because the junior events will finish in October, to propose the same things for all the ISU events if we see it works well. So at the next Congress we can propose, in case everything goes in the right direction, the full proposal. So if you can show what is our amendment, it's okay, this one. So the only question that we have is that we have thought that it is added on subparagraph 1B and 1J, but maybe the legal advisor can advise where to put exactly this provision, because it is just related to one competition, so we cannot change the base principle of all the rules, because all the events will stay with what we have today. But as we say, that we will have only for the Junior Grand Prix events this splitting of the panel with 5 judges that are judging the components and 5 judges that are judging the GOE. And the draw who is judging will be in the, as presented, in the same, every judge can judge the same, and just the draw will decide which are going to judge components and GOE.
Okay. No, he was first. Yes.
As one of the senior Grand Prix organizers, Grand Prix events, the tendency is the following, that the number of skaters we have is sometimes 3-4 times less than the number of people serving the event. We increased with the new system. There are controllers, specialists, judges, and so on and so forth, but sometimes the number of skaters goes considerably down. So the number of servants is more than the number of those whom we serve. We decreased, because of the expenses, decreased the number of pairs and ice dance couples participating in Grand Prix. Now we want to increase again the number of judges and people serving. And it's not only, the expenses will not only involve the bringing extra people, this is extra additional judging equipment. And therefore, especially now when we are going to introduce the new GOE system with +5, 2-5, then 2 panels, this is maybe too much. We should go step by step and not immediately make revolutions. And at least we should finally think about what we can do for the skaters, not only just for the increasing the number of people serving them in various capacities.
Didier, please. What?
Can I reply to
later.
Okay.
Didier, please.
I just wanted to say that I'm completely in full support of the Russian comments.
Alla Shekhavtsova, IS Dance Technical Committee. I have a question to the legal advisor because we have Rule 353, Para B. It's a judging system and determination and publication of the result. And according to this para, it's written here that each judge identifies for each section element one of the grade of execution. It means that without changing in this rule, we can't agree with this proposal.
Yes, Alla, you're absolutely correct. Otherwise, we have conflicting rules.
How can we then accept this rule?
We cannot like this.
Now,
Can we show the rules? Sorry.
Wait a second. I'll just say that if it is now, if we accept the rule as it is, then we'll have two conflicting rules. And how can we amend 353 that part Alla read? I don't understand.
Patrick Meyer, Single and Pair Technical Committee, but our amendment is supposed to be under paragraph 1b and 1g. So there will be no conflict. It will be added. So the 1b stays it is, and as a sub-paragraph, only for season 1920, for Junior Grand Prix, we have a special, another kind of principle. This was the idea. So there will not be a conflict, but we add it to the 1b. And 1g, because 1g is the same, but for components. J, sorry.
I'm sorry, I am confused and lost. I think the only way we could straighten that out is to have a amended proposal as you described it, but in writing. I mean,
It's on the screen.
Oh.
But we don't have it in writing. It's difficult to see.
Actually, we was not exactly sure where to put, but we tried to put it on the 1b and 1j.
Actually, Patrick, I wonder, is this to be sort of a trial thing, or is that a step-by-step introduction of the new system?
It's not really a trial because we really use the existing Junior Grand Prix. But of course, it's also to get experience if it's really working or not. And the timeline would be, we are not introducing the plus and minus 5 at the same time like splitting the panel. We do this season plus and minus 5. Next season, only for Junior Grand Prix, try the splitting of the panel. The Junior Grand Prix will end in October 2019. We have little time to analyze if this could work or not, but we have little time to make a proposal for the Congress 2020. If this works very well, then we could produce a proposal for the next Congress.
But then, in my opinion, it would make sense to add in 353, maybe 1b, that in order to get experience with respect to possible improvements for the season 1920, there will be this split as to be further detailed by the Council. I think that would make sense because it's a bit difficult now to see what all has to be done.
So to create a new paragraph 5, I think it would be, no?
You could do it there.
Yeah, because we thought at the beginning to do a new paragraph 5, just for an exception of these competitions. And after we thought that maybe it was more logical to do this way, but we are ready to do and to amend how you suggest. It's just some way should be logical that if we want to try to do something, we could have the possibility to put it. It's just a certain kind of exception for this season. And after, if it works, we go in this direction. If it doesn't work, we stay like we are. But it is, that was the logic of our amendment.
Okay, Leanne.
Leanna Caron, Canada. This last point, I may just offer up that could perhaps be handled in drafting as a follow-up. To the recommendation and the proposal put forward by the Netherlands, including the amendment, I'd like to offer the following. I like the amendment that we would give this a try once and for all in the Junior Grand Prix events. Also, I sincerely appreciate the amount of quantitative statistical analysis that the Dutch Federation has put into this. We're no longer talking about how it feels as an official to not get to do the whole event, but there's actually statistical correlation between the impact of the big elements and how program components are being evaluated. So I think that for us to be able to have an informed decision as to whether or not this is the direction we go in, having the approach that the amendment suggests that we try in the Junior Grand Prix will help us come to that conclusion. Thank you.
Yes.
Just
present yourself.
Paolo Pizzoccari from Italy, and I am a little bit confused because we are all facing that one of the major points of judging is the judging components in our competitions, and I don't think that with the +5 and -5 GOE we could not change something. We cannot split because we are adding something. We are not adding anything because the way of judging is exactly the same, and we make it easier for the judges. And I don't understand why it is not possible to start from the championship with 13 judges on site, as we spoke many times during the season, and give a possibility to try for a better component judging. And as component moderator, I can say that very many judges, and probably the majority of judges at the seminar, are asking for splitting panel, because one of the things that is most influencing the component is that it's very difficult to do so many things at the same time. So we are not adding anything because the system and the way of judging is exactly the same, and we are just focusing on some aspects on our skating. And especially with the +5, -5, when there is much more to do for the judge, I think that the component will be judged worse than it is now. That's it.
Paola, I did not quite understand. What is your suggestion?
My suggestion is to support the Netherlands options and
without any amendment,
and to start from now. I may understand that to have 10 judges in Junior Grand Prix could be difficult. This is my only, so I don't know how to answer this question, but why not in the championship we could have 6 and 7, 6 for GOE and 7 for components. There are 13 judges on sites, and why not to use all the judges that are paid by the ISU to work? And my suggestion is to start as soon as possible.
But is it an amendment? Because now we have the proposal of Netherlands and amendment from the committee. If you are making another amendment or not? No. He wants immediately.
For what I understood,
next year.
He would like not to accept the amendment, but to vote for the full proposal of Netherlands. But anyway, we have to vote before for the amendment. If the amendment is not accepted, we go for the fourth proposal or the reverse. I mean, it is...
Alla Shekhavtsova is Dance Technical Committee. I would say, even with the amendment, it will be quite risky to use this rule, because it is written here, at least 5 judges will mark only GOE, and at least 5 judges will mark only program components. At least it means not less than 5. But what has happened if one of the judges will sick, or the organizers will be not able to find 5 judges per each task, let's say. And probably in this case will be better to amend it differently, that panel of the judges have to be split approximately and on 2 equal parts. It will be more safety. Because now we will be in the situation that at least we have to organize 5 judges in the panel. We have to find it, correct?
The idea to have not less than 5 judges is because 5 judges are not anyway too much, and to have less could be a little bit risky in a way. So we said at least 5 judges, like it was in the proposal from Netherlands, that for the small events, small, not so small, but it was 5 judges and goes to 7 for the championship. So, but we have no problem in a way if you prefer to say that we split the panel in 2. But if we have, I would say, only 6 judges or 7 judges in total, I think that it's not working well, the system, because with the 3 judges only for components and 3 judges only for GOE, maybe the results can be in some way a little bit risky.
Yes, Karen.
I spoke only one time, so I can speak twice.
Yes.
I'm supportive of the amendment made by the Singles and Pairs Committee. I'm also, in a way, supportive of Alla's argument that there might be a risk if we have less than 5 judges. So we could maybe draft it in such a way that we say that there will be 2 equal parts, or approximately 2 equal parts. I leave that to the drafting. And I would encourage you to just accept the proposal as amended by the Singles and Pairs Committee, so we can prepare everything, let's say, one season, and then start with the Junior Grand Prix 2019-2020.
Garen, either we put on vote the amendment of the committee, or if you want to use Allah's amendment, we can postpone this question till tomorrow and have, instead of this amendment that takes in account what Allah said. What do we prefer?
Alexander?
Yeah?
May I? Just before you answer, as I understood, your proposal and the proposal from amendment from Singles and Pairs is regarding the ISU events and Youth Olympic Winter Games. So all ISU events, it means Junior Grand Prix, Senior Grand Prix, Youth Olympic Games, Olympic Games. Not international competition, am I right or not? You're
correct.
Correct. So in my opinion, for these events, for ISU events, there cannot be less than 5 judges in each part. And I agree with the proposal, which is on the screen now. If we incorporate that in the future for international, then we can make less than 5. But for the ISU events, I think that it is the minimum 5 judges for each part, for GOE and for components.
Alexander, could we have a separate vote on that last possible amendment?
Wait. I can have the vote on the amendment first, to include it, to have your proposal, but with committee's amendment, and then vote the whole thing. Because if the amendment, for example, is not accepted, then we can vote only on the original proposal. There's no third proposal at the moment, because if Allah suggested something, but Halina says that 5 is the minimum, then we'll have to either amendment or original proposal.
Okay.
We can say also that in Junior Grand Prix there are generally a lot of judges. So the case in which we will have less than 5 and 5 is quite rare.
In dance.
It is possible, but... Yeah.
In dance it's not rare. Because dance judges cannot be replaced by others. Okay.
So, yeah, in conclusion, we would then vote for the proposal as amended by the singles and pairs
First,
and on the
no, Jaron. First, we vote for amendment. If we want the original proposal or the proposal with amendment. And amendment is as follows, that the proposal is only valid since 1920 and is only for Junior Grand Prix. What? For the season.
Yeah,
correct.
it's only for this season, and after
then
we decide.
there will be the next Congress 20. The Congress 20 will be. So we are not saying yes or no. First step, we are choosing. Either we discuss the original proposal or the proposal with amendment. And that is the first vote. Let's see, maybe we don't need electronic for amendment. Who is in favor of accepting the amendment to the proposal? Who is against? I think we need to count. And it's only original proposal or amendment. We'll have an electronic vote.
Oh, are you sure?
Yes, because there were not so few red ones. It's 50-50 or two-thirds. And this is 50-50. If it's 50-50, then there were more green, of course. Okay, 50-50 was definitely more green. Okay, and now with 2/3 majority, we have the proposal of Netherlands as amended by the Single Pair Technical Committee. And this vote will be electronic.
Because it's close?
Because it's 1/3 could be, it's not clear. So can you open electronic vote? One, if the proposal is accepted, 1 and valid. 2, if the proposal is rejected, and 3, abstained, and all was valid. Which proposal? That's good. The proposal presented by Jaron Prince and amended by Fabio Bianchetti. We have already said that we are discussing only amended proposal because the majority of delegates preferred amended to not amended. And now we discuss the proposal with amendment. And again, starting with the season 2021, a Junior Grand Prix will 1920. In the season 1920, we split the panel, at least 5 judges in each part, and then the Congress 20 will decide what is next. Correct?
Yes.
Okay, close the vote, please. And show the result. The proposal is rejected. Yes, 38, no 23, and abstained 2. So we stay with the current rule. Okay. Proposal 195, Ice Dance Technical Committee.
Sean Rutstad, Ice Dance Technical Committee. So this is simply for Ice Dance to add the word sequence to the possibility of a GOE, and also for us the possibility of 2 GOEs as we continue to be more creative and develop elements for the future. Thank you.
Any questions? Who is in favor? Who is against? Abstained? Accepted. Proposal 196, Single and Pair Technical Committee, Evaluation of Jump Sequence.
Okay, I can just explain that this is referred to the proposal 256 that is in technical rules, in which the jump sequence will consist only of 2 jumps, if clearly it will be accepted. So the fact that this is a consequence, because there are not 2 highest value jumps, but when we have 2 jumps, it's the value of the 2 jumps. So it's just a clarification related to the technical proposal.
Maybe in this case we should wait till the technical proposal is accepted or rejected and return back here.
So we have to leave this pending after the technical rules are approved.
Okay. Now we have 2 proposals on the similar subject, 197 from Canada and 198 from Japan, about jumps in the second half of the program, and Canadian proposal is with amendment. Amendment is on the screen. Who is the first to speak? Yes, please.
Thank you, Leanna Karen, Canada. As you see on the screen, the only amendment that's being proposed is clarity, that our intention was that it be the last 2 jumps performed in the short program that get the bonus credit, the maximum of those last 2 jumps, and the maximum of the last 4 jumps in the free program. As everyone knows, the short program has 3 jump elements, and typically you see the big jump elements done in the first part. So in order to have a well-balanced program, we're recommending that this be in place. For the free program, there's 8 jump elements for men and 7 for the women. So the bonus would be awarded to the last, up to the last 4 jump elements that appear in the second half of the program.
Okay, and maybe it's good to listen to representative of Japan, because it's on the same subject.
Tomoko Doi from Japan. Japan would maintain our original proposal as it is because we believe for a better balanced program. This is more viable. The last 1 jump element for short program, the last 3 jump elements for free skating. The jumps will be well distributed throughout the program. Thank you.
So the difference between the 2 proposals is as follows. Proposal of Canada gives 1 factor to 2 last jumps of the short program and 4 last jumps of free skating in the second part. The proposal of Japan is the same, but 1 jump of short program and 3 jumps of free skating. First, who wants to speak? Eliza was first to reach the microphone. She was quicker than you.
Lise Røsto-Jensen, Norway. We just ask for clarification for Canada's proposal. It's written the last two jumps. Do you mean the last two jump boxes? Or, so if you have a combination, is it the... Can you just clarify?
Jump boxes, elements.
Thank you.
It's the last two elements. Okay, John?
John Coughlin, Singles and Pairs Technical Committee. We want to support the Japanese proposal. The original intent of the second half bonus was to eliminate the front loading of programs, and because the athletes are trying to maximize points, now we're seeing an influx of jumps in the second half of the program. This is a great balance to make sure we're rewarding distribution while not ignoring the artistry and the balance of the program. Thank you.
Lise Røsto-Jensen, Norway. Then maybe the wording should be changed, because then it should be jump elements, to be clear.
Okay, in drafting we can change if it is accepted. Anybody else? Then we are putting first the proposal of Canada on vote, and if it is accepted, it eliminates the proposal of Japan. If it is rejected, then we put on vote the proposal of Japan.
Are you sure you don't want to
How?
between whether they prefer A or B?
Can we do it?
This? Yeah.
Beatrice advises to take the two and first decide what delegates prefer, which of them. It doesn't mean that you are voting for either of them, but you vote which one of them is preferable. Okay, and as they are close, I would use electronic vote. If you vote one, that is for proposal of Canada. If you vote two, is for proposal of Japan. Please open the electronic vote. And then we vote the whole. We are only choosing now the preference, and then we'll have another vote. It's now just the preference. We are not accepting either of them. Yeah? No? Doesn't work? Why? Because you can vote yes, no, abstained. Yes, Canada, no. There's no 1, 2.
No, I would first vote just the yes.
And what?
For Canada, and in the second vote, or in the second vote, no, you have to do it in the same vote.
Yeah. Okay, as the machine does not accept this way, if you vote yes, it's for Canada. If you vote no, it's for Japan. We are just choosing between the two. So please open the electronic vote and either press yes if you prefer Canadian proposal and no if you prefer Japanese. Can you open the vote?
And this is just majority, right?
Yeah. Okay. Vote open. It's closed. Oh, okay. So either yes or no.
And no is in...
No is a Japanese proposal. Can we close? Yes. The vote is closed. And show us the result. Okay. 30, 33. It's Japan. And next vote is now the proposal, and it's only proposal 198 from Japan. Please open the electronic vote. Do we need to show who voted in favor or against?
Actually, yes.
Because we didn't do it in the splitting of the panel.
That's right.
If no one objected.
Okay. Open the vote, please. The vote is opened.
Maybe restate what we're voting for.
No, there I said we are voting for proposal 198 of Japan to give 1-1 bonus to 1 jump in short and 3 jumps in free. Okay? The vote is closed. Proposal is accepted. Okay. Next, proposal 199 of Japan about the bonus for all types of triple or quad jumps in the program in free. Yes.
Mami Maida, Japan. Japan withdrew this proposal. The intent was to promote more variety to the programs. However, having discussion over proposal 261 on Monday, we believe it is too early to make this proposal. Thank you.
Okay. Withdrawn. Proposal 200, Ice Dance Technical Committee. There are 2 items there.
Alla Shekhavtsova, the member of Ice Dance Technical Committee. This proposal is related to the rule number 353, para 1, and 2 para II and III. And regarding the first, regarding the first para, where is just 2I, we didn't change the current text. It's just a time to delete what is written in the bracket. And the bracket is written that it is valid beginning with the season 2018-19. We are in this season, and it is like a drafting. Para III. This is a really new para. We would like to introduce a new principle of evaluating of some elements. For example, twizzles. We are thinking a lot how to avoid the situation when, as a result of only one small mistake, our competitors can lose a huge points. And to avoid this situation, we decided to divide the element into 2 parts. One part will be a lady and one part will be the man. And the technical panel will evaluate separately, as we are doing now for the pattern dance element. We already separate some of the key points, and the man and the lady doing something separately. And after that, the judges are evaluated by using the GOE, which are based on the overall impression. And that was the reason to propose this para III. Thank you.
I've asked if there are any objections to II or IAA. No. Who is in favor? Who is against? Abstained. Proposal is accepted. I suggest we work till 5:30. Okay, there's no coffee break because we started at 3. 5:30 until 5:30. Next proposal is proposal of Netherlands.
Jeroen Prins, Netherlands. When IGS was introduced, the system was presented as a balance between technical element score and component score. This worked well until skaters started to execute multiple quad jumps. And now in a men event, but it's also starting in the ladies and the pairs event, the technical and the component scores are quite out of balance. Therefore, it is time to recalibrate our scoring system and upgrade the components factor, and we proposed it only for men single skating, and we proposed it to increase by 20%. I've ran some computer simulations on competitions of last year, and with also some of the measurements we are taking, like the +5, -5, and the GOE scale, the new GOE, this new scale value already implemented. The last days I've also spoken to Patrick Meyer from the Singles and Pair Committee, who also ran computer simulations, and it became obvious that our proposal would fix the problem of the technical and the component score only partially. It would work very well for skaters in the top 10, but less so for the skaters in the bottom. I understood that the Singles and Pairs Committee has worked out some amendments which they would like to present. Thank you.
If you have amendments.
No.
If you have no amendments, then I will say a couple of words.
I have no amendments. I understood Singles and Pair Committee have.
No, I've done personally some statistics on new judging, this +/5. It's not easy to make statistics because one element will be one jump less in free skating. I estimated, took 5 points from the result of free skating and did some estimated calculations. And strangely, but in all three disciplines, if we take all the skaters, not top, not bottom, but all, we have in free skating 50-50. We don't have any the technical is more than artistic. For the top 6, technical is more, but the average is the same. In short program, for all the disciplines, we have like 55-45. So the short program actually really technical is more than components. But first of all, if we do changes, we need to do it in all three. I don't understand why men are separated. Then the second, maybe then we don't need 1-2, but more like need 1-1 and 0-9 for ladies and pairs. But the last thing, we are moving to +/5 with some new calculations which we can only estimate. Jumping into some changes now without having the real figures, but only estimated figures. Personally, I would advise to return to this subject at the next Congress when we really will have statistics and then can base our factors on the real statistics. Yeah?
Yes, so because we discussed it a little bit before the Congress with Jeroen, at the beginning we are saying to him that we do not agree with these numbers, but that we could amend about the numbers. But after we have studied in these days a little bit more, we have to agree with Alexander that first of all, there is a problem because it's clearly that the actual factors are not perfectly fitting, but the fact is that what will be the correct factor with a new GOE And plus that, it's not only related to the men's, because frankly speaking, also in the ladies and in the pairs, we have the same problem. So it is too much to do in the hurry, and maybe we cannot produce the good results. So what we can say is that we'll be absolutely consider this as a study in the next season to have a really better evaluation with all the events, not only just take it by chance, and to study the new factor, because we agree that the new factor has to be properly adjusted, but how much adjust, we are not ready to propose anything.
If we are all continuing our analysis and our simulations, I'm happy for the moment to withdraw the proposal.
Thank you, Jaron. And one or two more proposals, depending on the time. 202, ISU Dance Technical Committee.
Hilary Selby, ISU Dance Technical Committee. This rule is in accordance with 353 para 1N and is conjunction with proposal 278. And we've seen that the pattern dances, there hasn't been any restriction in the timing between the last prescribed step of the dance and the final position that's reached. So consequently, we have been seeing mini programs being performed at the end of a pattern dance. As a result, we are suggesting that there is a 20-second allowance permitted until the couple come to the final position or movement. If they choose to skate longer, there will be a deduction of 1 point for every 5 seconds in excess.
Any remarks? Okay, who is in favor? Who is against? Abstained? The proposal is accepted. And the last proposal about falls.
Jeroen Prins, Netherlands. I think many of you are at this moment not ready to accept the proposal. I was just pointing out another calculation just as an example. Currently, before the scale of value is changing, for quadlats you would go with a fall and a -3 from 13.6 to 9.6, and if the fall is getting 1 point further deduction, you move from 9.6 to 8.6. And a new scale of value would go from 11.50 to 5.75. And on top of that would come the fall to take you down another point. So the difference will be 4 points, which is quite a lot. I think we have to fix other problems first. And at this moment, we are not ready for this proposal, so I withdraw the proposal.
Thank you. Okay, we had quite an exciting afternoon. Thank you for attention. Tomorrow we'll continue at 9 o'clock.